Strange Things Radio. Hey, Eric, are you there?
I'm here, brother, and I gotta first of all say to all the strangelings, the reason why I'm not in studio tonight is I am driving home in a monsoon. I mean, thunder, lightning. I'm telling you, it was frightening. So knock on wood. It was just one of those things. So I get home. I'm talking to James on the way home. He's trying to make it home from Tampa. Thank God you made it home okay, right? And so I get in and I'm like, it's just like pouring down. I'm looking at the radar. I'm like, I got to get some sleep. I called James. I'm like, listen, James, I got to get some sleep, man. Can I phone it in? Of course, James, being the understanding person that he is, said, buddy, anything for you, bro. Now, he didn't say those words. I thought I'd just throw it in there, James, so forgive me if I embellished a little bit.
Okay.
What?
No, I feel like I'm echoing, like I'm sitting in a room. It's weird. So
Dude, let me tell you something. You sound fantastic. The question is, can the strangelings, and I'm checking out the chat room, right? And I see some people in there that I haven't seen before. Phantom, Zoro, Rachi, AFT_cat. Now, is that officially known as Cat? Is that what that was? James? James.
I don't
James!
know. Well, I'm here.
All right, Gen Z. Literally, you both sound good. Well, thank you, Gen Z. Is tonight going to be another official flirtatious night? Just asking. I guess not. So, what's going on, James?
Oh, just the typical, I don't know. I mean, just...
Well, dude, you should see me. I'm sitting here. Nobody's in, it's like I got an empty house. The dog's sitting on a chair. I'm sitting there with the laptop in my lap, phone's on, in my undies, rocking on my lazy boy. Can't ask for any better way to do a talk show, right, James?
This is true.
James?
I'm here.
You know what I mean?
I'm talking. You can't.
So, and I see Sherry Mobile is out there. Well, it's good. Yeah, it's good that you're out there, Sherry, because I was concerned. I wasn't sure if you're going to be listening to the show. Folks, tonight's show, we're going to talk about a topic that, to me, is just absolutely scary. It is just
dun, dun,
terrifying. Huh?
I did dun, dun, dun. Sorry.
Yeah, James, is it not scary? Now, see, I don't think you really believe that it's possible. That's my impression, because of your lack of belief in the hereafter.
I did. Oh, excuse me? I believe in the hereafter. I just don't
No,
believe in
you
your
don't, James.
Yes, yes, I do. I just don't
James.
believe in your particular version of it. That's all.
Right.
And
All
I do
know-
believe in are we going to tell our fine listeners what this topic is about, or are we going to continue to do the Eric tease?
First of all, James, you know me. I like to tease. I'm a teaser. All right? I mean, I like to drop my towel when I'm at the beach and kind of slowly, seductively bend over, arching my back, giving all the chicks a thrill. You know that, James, right?
Yeah,
right, James?
I can't personally tell you the experience. I'm just assuming you're correct by you telling it.
Okay, that's all right, man. It's okay. I notice you always turn away, and when the women are catcalling, you're just like, I don't know that guy. Yeah, I was talking to him earlier, but I don't know that guy. I really don't know that guy. Yeah, I gave him a chicken breast and some potato salad, but I don't know that guy. So, yeah. I guess I'm tap dancing around a topic that's a little scary, man. What was the please don't wear a crotch charm at the beach? His underwear in his Barca lounge. Yeah, dude, I am. It's a lazy boy. There's no other chair that's worth a damn than a lazy boy. I'm just saying that's just me. But but we're going to talk about what James, when I say probably the scariest movie of all time, what are your top three?
E.T.
What? What? Come on, man. Are we going to be serious tonight?
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, what was the one movie that just scared the living hell out of you? I just gave you a frickin' hint. Living hell.
Well,
I'm like, come on.
You asked me my personal opinion of the scariest movie in the world, or more of what we're going to talk about? I should play along with you and tell you the answer you want to hear.
All right, Cece, listen. Showgirls, oh my goodness, let's not go there. She was
bingo.
The chick from Showgirls. Yeah. So, but we stomped all over a scary subject. Don't know why would tap dance now. All right, Kat, listen. 9 Inch Nails. Rocky Horror. No kidding, man. Oh my gosh.
Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror creeped me out. I'm sorry, man. And then I had all kinds of friends that, and they were always like the theater kids, the speech kids, the debate kids that loved Rocky Horror, man. There were like several movie theaters. Now, this is back in the day. I don't even know if they still do that, where they would dress up and go and sit in the movie theater and they would act out the movie.
I don't know if they still do it, but yeah, they would do it. That was something big in the 80s, right?
I'll guarantee you somewhere, some small town in California, they still frickin' do it. Oh, and it's just a jump to the left. I knew Cece was a part of that. Cece, you went to the show. Be honest with you, didn't you? Didn't you? And it's a jump to the left. The one scene that creeped me out, and I stopped, was when he was in bed with a guy in silhouette. I'm like, that's it. I can't watch this anymore. Creepers.
All
and
right.
I had to turn
so tonight, can we tell them?
Wait, stop. No,
what?
Because I haven't seen anybody throw out what I would consider to be the scariest movie of all time. It was absolutely, it still plays in Berkeley. I'm serious. What is the scariest movie of all time? I think Indiana people are freaks for Rocky Horror. That's true. Oh my gosh, Tina, that's true. And people in Illinois love that. Oh my gosh, yes.
Ceiling Cat got it.
CC got it. To me, and what year was that movie made, James? Do you know? Was it like 73?
71, I believe. I mean, double check my...
Was it 71? It was like the very early 70s. And to me, I think it was... So if it was like 70, let's say just for let's say 72. So you're talking, 45 years ago, this frickin' movie came out. 45 years ago. And the thing is, I think, no. CC says Exorcist 3 is scariest. No. See, this is the thing. You got to ask yourself, what ends up being scary to you? Is it just blood and gore? Or is it let's see, Exorcist Best, I know. Oh my gosh. I don't know who that guest is, but that terrified me. Yeah. Guest 3172, Exorcist Best line, your mother. Yeah. Not only that, but you know what scared me? When she talked like the priest's mother, and was like, Damie, why do you hurt me? That just so creeped me out. And the one scene where the mother comes home and is walking through the house, and the lights are flashing on and off, and you hear this guttural sound. Wait, 72 makes it 44 years. Don't make demons older than... Kenzie, shut up, man. But to me, that was the scariest movie of all time, as far as I'm concerned. And really, if you think about it, the concept of possession is scary.
Which is going to be our subject tonight's topic, if you haven't figured that out yet. So we are going to talk about true possessions, some of those movies are based off some of the true stories. So we're going to get into possession and exorcisms. So
right, and that'll be what, from our 11 to 12 o'clock hour, right?
correct. So
And you know, and this is one of those topics, James, where you and I usually debate, right? I don't think you.
Well,
I don't think you. And the thing is James, let's be honest here. We debate when we're at a restaurant. You know, when we talk about things. And I got to say, folks, just as an aside, James is without a doubt my bro. All right? He's like, "What are you doing for lunch?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm hungry." He's like, "I'm on my way to Wings and Things." I'm like, "Buddy, I am on my way." So I'm like, "Okay, you get there first because I'm about 20, 25 minutes away. You get there first and order." Folks, I walk in. He's got the food there, and he's conducting business. I sit down. What does James do, folks? What is my my broadcast partner, my compadre, the skipper, what does he do? He picks up my lunch. Oh, James, thanks you, bro. Oh, my gosh. You know what, James? I don't give a darn. Yeah, you guys are the best. Absolutely. Wings and Things, you guys are the best. Absolutely. I frickin' dig that place. Oh, Sherry, to this day, I cannot eat split pea soup. It's just gross. What?
Split pea soup. I mean, first thing, I don't like split pea soup. It's this green and yucky and ugh. And then that scene with Blair. I almost said Blair Underwood. I don't know why.
Well, and see, this is the thing. You know what? The thing is when people talk about demon possessions, they talk about how they have such uncanny aim when they spit. They can actually spit and hit a small target, and they just have an ability. And this is the thing. Oh wait, we shouldn't probably get into it right now, right, James?
Right. We still have a whole hour of it from 11 to 12. So that's kind of the topic there. But once we start talking, we get all excited about it. But we're not gonna. But that's gonna be 11 to 12. So, and then when we come back from break, it's gonna be a few minutes. We're gonna talk about strange things in the news as we do. So right now, real quick, I know we only have 10 more minutes before we gotta go break. I want to first say, hope anyone listening in the Texas area, I hope you guys are staying safe.
Oh my gosh,
did you
buddy.
hear? I don't know. This is, we don't do late breaking news, but about I don't know, about 30 minutes ago or 40 minutes ago, the hurricane. What's the hurricane's name again?
Harvey.
Harvey just was upgraded to a 4 before it hit.
It is a 4.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, dude! What is that? Like 150 or 175 mile an hour winds? I heard that the sheriff or the police, to those individuals that were going to try and ride the storm out, it was asked that they took marker and put their Social Security number on their body somewhere.
Sorry, just the way you said that. I thought you said we're going to put it on the house, so then people could just go by and steal their identity.
No! Oh my gosh, no, buddy. Put their Social Security on their body. Now, I think a statement like that would be, excuse me, why? Why do you need the Social Security? And the guy goes, think about it. Why do you need so I could be identified, my body be identified? How the hell do I get out of here? I mean, think about that. Somebody saying that. Put your Social Security number on there, so at least once we find your body, we can we can notify next of kin. And I hear there are a lot of people that are that are going to just ride it out. Those people in Corpus Christi, in Galveston, And James, I heard that they are expecting up to 35 inches of rain.
Oh, I heard that too.
35 inches of rain. Oh, my gosh. I mean, James, can you imagine 35 inches of rain? That's 3 feet.
Well, that's 2 feet and 11 inches, because 3 feet would be 36 inches. But I see your point. Roughly 3 feet.
Yeah, so 35 inches is 1 inch shy of 3 feet. So can we round up, brother?
We're going to do a little rounding, I guess.
And this is the thing. And they had Texas authorities that were sitting there saying, there's no place for this water to go. I mean, there's just no place for this water to go. Like, they don't have, and see, for the most part, James, wouldn't you say that Texas is kind of a dry, arid place?
Well, no, actually, Texas is big, obviously. So there are sections that are dry, but there's other sections like the coast. Now, like my mom was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I still have relatives out there. On what they would call the East Coast, which is like Galveston and all that area, it's a lot tropical, similar to us. Because if you look at where they are, kind of right across from us in Florida, there's sections over there that are more tropical, but not quite. It is still pretty dry, but it's not what you're thinking desert-wise. It's on the coast.
Well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, for the most part, it's dry. Okay,
right.
And I'm not saying desert area, but where will all that water go? I mean, it's not like they have tons of reservoirs. They don't have tons of lakes that can act as a repository for all this water. There's going to be massive, massive flooding. Oh my gosh! And James, I got to tell you something. Has Florida not been lucky? No, not lucky. Blessed. Has Florida not been blessed, buddy?
Oh, I
Think
agree.
about it.
We can easily. No, so here's real quick. You're asking about category sizes and what the speeds are. So category 1 is roughly 74 to 95 miles an hour. Category 2 is 83 to 95. Category 3 is 96 to 112. Category 4 is 130 to 156 miles an hour as a consistent going. And then 5 is 157 and higher. So, I mean, anytime you have these storms, you have ups and downs. But once they move it from a category 1 or 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, it's sustained wind all the time. And so that's what makes it. And then this sustained. And the wind's one thing. And what the damaging part is going to be with this, being in Florida, we learn all this stuff, but it will be the rain. And the rain will just absolutely, like you said, because think about it, 3 feet of water. If you took you'd think, okay, 3 feet of water, but now how deep, you have 3 feet deep, and how long? I mean, if you get a mile long of 3 foot water, that'll wipe out things. I mean, literally, there's not a building, there's not a house that much pressure in water, like a tsunami, building up, and then moving. It's destructive. It's absolutely destructive.
Well, and how long will it take for that to recede? I mean, how long will it take to recede? I'm sure they have sewer systems. Once the sewer systems fill up, and then it's a cumulative effect. And let's say there are areas of Texas where they're bowl shaped. You know what I mean? Like let's say 2 or 3 mile area that, for the most part, kind of bowls. It's like a bowl, and all that water, suddenly you have 6 to 10 feet in certain sections. There goes your houses. There goes your cars. It could be. It has the possibility to kill a lot of people. And this morning, when they were talking about this storm, I just sat there and thought, okay, right now, I'm sitting there thinking, how many people will have lost their lives this time tomorrow?
Yeah,
that will be no longer there.
There's also talk, again, I don't know how true this is, but there's talk about it hitting Texas, then looping back into the Gulf, and then looping back like a loop, right? And then swinging back into Texas again. If it comes back out of Texas and back into the Gulf, it'll regenerate again. And that's the problem that is even worse.
Well, I saw some of those models as well, and the thing is, all right, if it's a 4 now, by the time it gets in the land, it might get down to a 2 or 1. If it comes back out, and they say those waters down there in the Gulf are so warm, it's like a charging field. It like charges and adds energy to this storm. And buddy, I'll tell you, man, I'm so thankful I just and the my old company that I worked for, I have several people that I know that ended up transferring. A lot of people in management that transferred that are living in Texas that bought new houses right on the outskirts of Houston. You know, and if that's the case, can you imagine? They just bought those houses, devastating flooding. And buddy, you know,
I mean, they got insurance. That's why you have hazard insurance for your house. You know, your house insurance. But what happens is, after all they're paid out and all that, then the rates go up. This is why insurance is pretty expensive here in Florida as far as house insurance. I mean, it's comparatively to other parts of the nation, we have pretty expensive home insurance here just because of.
And that's because we're in Hurricane Alley, right?
Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, believe it or not, Florida hasn't been hit as much as other places for hurricanes. Especially in the Tampa Bay area. I've lived here all my life, and I've only gone through a few of them, and they've been all nothing real big. You know, there's a joke. You know, it says Category 1 hurricanes. People are on the beach, you know, surfing because to us, they're like, oh, Category 1, that's just a slight breeze. You know, so it's just But
back
3 and 4. Whew.
Well, what wasn't there? What down?
Charlie.
What was it? 2002, 2003. It was just south of us. Was it Charlie?
Charlie, yeah, I think Hurricane Charlie.
And there were people that wasn't it like Venice was tore up and a few other places.
Yep. They
look at the red shoelace incident. Have you guys seen the skunk cake in Florida?
I have not seen one, but I have heard one.
Listen, the red shoelace knows how to turn James Riggs on. Right, James?
No, he does. And he just say the word skunk ape, and you got me your attention.
And see, the thing is, I guess the only reason why we even decided to go ahead and bring it up and talk about it was because my heart, I think, well, I know, goes out to those people. I mean, what a horrible, horrible thing to have a house, to have everything you own, and to be to be right in the path of this massive, destructive storm. All we can do is just pray for these people. So, all you believers, take a little bit of time, pray for them. You know, Lord, keep them safe. You know, keep people safe. And, you know, not only that, but all the animals. Oh my gosh, people are one thing, but animals, dogs and cats and livestock, and how do you protect something like that? It'll be devastating. So, but folks, it is 10:25. We're going to go ahead and take our first break. Hang out with us. We're going to be here till 12 p.m. This is Strange Things Radio, sitting in with James and myself, Eric. We're here every Friday night from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. So hang out with us. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Strange Things Radio. Strange Things Radio. Strange Things Radio.
Strange Things Radio, folks. How you doing, man? Friday night, love Friday nights. A, we're gonna hang with the Strangelings, and B, I don't have to work tomorrow. And today, because of the way the weather was, I'm hanging out in my SpongeBob bikini briefs. Yes, I wear SpongeBob bikini briefs. You know why? Because I'm from Bikini... Wait, what's the place called?
Bikini Bottom.
Bikini Bottom. All right. Damn it, I screwed it up, man.
Well, there goes that joke.
Yeah, it didn't go real well. Anyway, so how you doing, folks? Strange Things Radio. Just chatting, kind of settling in for a nice discussion coming up between 11 and 12. A lot of crazy stuff in the news. I mean, folks, are you ready? Strange things in the news. Take it away, Mr. Riggs.
All right. So, what was my first one? Let me go get it. So this one, I had to pull it up. I got lots of information.
I set you up, and you sit there and you don't take the bait, man.
I know. So,
unbelievable.
All right. So this was written a couple days ago because we all know what happened a couple days ago, right?
No.
The eclipse. We already sourced.
Oh, the eclipse. Yeah. Go ahead.
Christian radio host Brian Fisher, quote, "Eclipse is a sign of the work of Satan." I'm reading the article right here.
Is that why you said when we went to break, after we were on break, you said I was going to love this? Is that what you said? All right, listen. So I mean, I don't know, man. I can't defend things like that. If they want to think that, I don't necessarily consider it a satanic thing. A lot of people say it might be a harbinger of things to come. We did talk about the 4 blood moons, right?
Yep.
And a lot of things went on during the 4 blood moons, didn't they?
There was
some weird, strange things happened. Not catastrophic like I was kind of thinking that would happen.
Well, I'm glad it didn't, don't you?
What did you say?
Aren't you glad things didn't happen?
Oh, no. No, I'm glad things didn't happen. But, I think he was probably saying it was just something of a, like a harbinger. Of,
let me read you what he says.
An omen.
Let me say, he says, Brian Fisher, host of a Christian radio show called Focal Point, posted on Facebook that the Bible stated the sun and the moon serve as signs. And then he says, this is a metaphor, quote, "This is a metaphor or a sign of the work of the prince of darkness in obscuring the light of God's truth." So then he goes on and says, "Satan and those who unwillingly serve as his accomplices by resisting the public knowledge of God and seeking to repress the expression of Christian faith in our land are bringing us a dark night of the national soul." And then he goes on.
Okay.
So the radio show claims to be the home of the muscular Christianity. And then, it goes on to a few other things. Here's, I think, another funny part. Fisher attempted to paint a normal celestial event as some kind of message from God, drawing laughs from critics online, including the Church of Satan, which they tweeted out, "Yes, let's get the word out that Christians like yourself see Satan in nature and science." So,
okay.
All
right, James, if you're expecting a rise out of me, if you're expecting me to do this or do that, I'm not gonna. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know, I mean, I doubt if I would have said that, but because eclipses, both lunar and solar, are naturally occur. However, especially with respect to blood moons, things have happened around the 4 blood moon, of blood moons, and we've talked about that. We're not going to go into it tonight, but especially having to do with Israel. So, I love Bible prophecy. You know that.
Oh, I know. We're supposed to do a show on that, right, Eric? You're supposed to get some information so we can do paranormal in the Bible.
All
Are you calling me out in front of the strangelings, brother? Are you calling me out in front of the strangelings? Come on, man. Just like last week, when I sat there and, I joked around and said I was 27. You didn't have to tell people I was 35. I
did not say your age. I just said you were not 27. You could have been 28. You could have been 29. You just weren't 27.
Now, see, that James, sometimes, you do act nice. That was nice. Thank you for saying it like that.
Right.
You could have taken a couple pot shots, but you elected not to.
No, I'm in a good mood tonight.
You are in a good mood.
Oh, yeah. Last night, James is a dickness.
I think you called yourself a dick. Did you not?
I did. Because I was
you did. Which, if you go back and listen to the tape, that just cracked me up. I mean, I was like, is this really James Riggs?
So another thing that came up, this is going to get back to the eclipse thing again. Did you see all the posts about the flat Earth people trying to explain why there's an eclipse? It was.
I see. Are you watching the chat room, man? Some of the.
Yeah, because Kate said the Earth is not flat, but Cats would have knocked everything off a long time ago. This is absolutely true. I will tell you, Kat. I have a tablet, right? I had it on the little table that's next to the couch. What does the cat do the other day? Goes hauling ass across the house, hits my tablet, and off the table it goes. Luckily, though, it didn't break. Yeah, Jake was like, and off it went.
I'm like, that cat sometimes can be psycho, man. Did you have something playing on the tablet to piss the cat off?
No, it just was closed, but he decided to rip through the whole thing. So it was just cats. You're saying cats. He's like cats do knock off things. I mean, they jump on tables, they slide around. So
unbelievable.
But Kate, if you send me your email address, I will shoot you over a copy of last week's show if you want to take a listen to it.
Dude, did you just say Kate or cat? That's cat.
I know. I keep saying Kate because I don't read very well.
Is that knows. Like Nestle?
Kit Kat.
Dude, every time I hear that, I got to replay it because you were serious. And what about seeing Nestle? I'm like, Nestle, dude, that's just James. I mean,
I know.
See, listen, folks, you understand. Monday through Friday, James is busting his ass. He is a financial. Let me rephrase that. He is a real estate mogul in training. You got to admit, James.
I like the word in training because in training can refer to the fact that.
Well, no, dude, you haven't quite hit six figures, but you're working on it, right? You're going to get there.
Yeah, and then seven figures is really where I want to be, but
hopefully 7 figures. And then, you can buy more wings and things for me. Wait, did I say that? I didn't say that, James. That just came out, James. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
So,
I didn't. Yeah.
So I want to get you another little strange thing in the news. You ready?
Oh boy, is it another cut at my belief system? Is it
has nothing to do with your
all right, go ahead,
moronic belief system.
What did you just say?
Just joking, folks. You know me. This is a jokester.
Gosh,
it's all
James.
jokes.
Whoa,
we have jokes
I'm
around here.
Now.
You're not hurting. So this is Eric's favorite topic. If you guys didn't hear that is Duke begging for a fourth bone.
Oh, hey, Hauser's in the house.
So
James.
Here is another little.
Wait! Before you go on, James, Hauser is in the house. James.
All right.
Tell us you're not in Texas right now. Tell us you're not in Texas, James. Well, because remember, he was working in Texas.
Right.
He had a lot of work.
But Texas is quite big, and there's sections of it who won't feel the hurricane at all. But hopefully he's in those sections. Yeah. So here's the other. Sorry, just in the chat room, folks. So I'm so used to calling Cat Kate.
I know.
I'm always doing that.
Is there a cheese cart for Eric?
So
this with people tonight, man.
Yeah. So this is the other strange things. Racist and sexist AI bots could deny you job insurance and loan, according to tech experts. AI programs designed to assist candidates for universal parking bank loans may inherently be racist and sexist, according to technology experts. Researchers believe the machine learning machines, far from making the world more equitable. Okay, I'll spell it for you.
Ecological.
No, that no. EQUITABLE. Equitable. Thank you. Are now mimicking society's equalities by discriminating against women and ethnic minors.
Really?
Yeah. So this is a quote. This is beginning to come up in lots of areas in shortlisting people for jobs, insurance, and loans, and all those things. Noel Sarkley, co-director of the Foundation for Responsibility for Robots, told by BBC America. Says Sarkley cited the example of research from Boston University in which AI was trained to read Google News, and when asked during a word association game, man is to computer programmer what woman is to X, the computer replied, homemaker. We have a problem, says Sarkley. We need more women coming into the field to solve it. It sounds like this guy just wants hot women to get into the for geeky guys in the AI field to have more opportunities to get laid. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
Well, did you see where I forgot what the guy's name was? Some tech guy that said that he thinks that they should outlaw any company that wants to utilize AI in robotics for the purpose of killing.
Oh yeah, hold on 1 second. Unfortunately, we have a Duke problem. He's going nuts without his bone. So, folks,
is it Musk? Is it Elon
Musk? Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla motor company. He also started PayPal, sold it to eBay. He also owns SpaceX.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know about that. Because I think there would be a benefit to robots in the military. But the only thing is, how do you control them? How would you control robots in the military? Like drones. I know drones aren't technically robots.
But you know what? But it wouldn't be hard pressed to put an AI program, because I mean, what now? How a drone is controlled by a joystick and a human looking at a screen? Well, we know
that's true
from our own work experience, right? That working over where we worked, that we have there's programs out there who can control the camera. We had software that would basically use the visual.
Yes, I
can't. My brain doesn't. But basically, it was using that that artificial. What was it called? When
automated video surveillance.
Yeah, you're right. It's just couldn't get. But basically, use that program along with an AI program that could automatically, and then using GPS says, "Hey, we're this high, we're this close." It can use an AI program to drive that drone. So then you get a whole. I mean, basically, you get a whole squadron of drones, all controlled by one AI. Things can get a little crazy. So, and then here's a quote. You ready? Quote from Elon Musk, just like we're talking about. Artificial intelligence, vastly more riskier than North Korea.
I would agree with that. Remember you were talking about one aspect of AI where they can think on their own and they can reason.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if that their thought and just to even sit there and say thought process of a freaking robot, artificial intelligence, but what if it slants towards evil and death and destruction, and it somehow views man? What if AI? What if a robot would think of its own? Think of its. I was going to say mortality, but that's just a wrong word to use.
Right, self-interest, right, or
survival.
Survival.
If a robot, if it that has some form of artificial intelligence, could have some sort of survival instinct and views humanity as a threat to its existence, I'm wondering. I can't help but think of the Daleks from Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
I can't help. I mean, when you think of something like that, it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to imagine us going in that direction. But did you see a Dr. Frankenstein coming up with a couple of them that
you know what?
Basically,
I think you're right, and here's what I think. Think about it. Would someone in America do it? Maybe not, but maybe some kid. Here's my other thing. What about the third world countries who are bent on the destruction of the United States or trying to bring it down? I mean, right now we got hacked.
Like Pakistan?
Manila. I mean, just tons of countries who their youth, are smart, intelligent. They've learned how to program. They've taken what they've found on the internet and just expounded on it, and then say, hey, you know what? I can create this AI that can help crack things. I mean, think about it. If you had an AI,
look at what Kat said. Anyone else hear the robot cop that drowned itself? I heard that. but I thought it tilted. It tipped over. A robot that commits suicide. I can't take it anymore. I want to give up. And then they sit there and fall. Why do people, when they talk like robots, talk like this? It's a robot. What if it's real suave, like, hey, I'm Robbie the robot, and I'm digging your scene. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, I know, but you know what's interesting? And there's a TV show on is it A&E? I always get that. I think it's A&E. It's called Halt and Catch Fire, right? And this is the fourth season, and what it is they started off talking, and it's a drama show, it's fiction, but they surround themselves back in the early '80s when computers started going, and they were creating BBSs, and it's a really cool show, and it kind of reminds me of the old days, right? Well, now they're up to the dawn of the internet, and I started thinking, I was like, because it seems our internet is so involved in our lives, it's hard to contemplate life without it. It really is.
Involved in our lives. It's every day. The first thing I do when I wake up is
check the phone,
my email, check Facebook throughout the day.
Yeah,
oh my God!
I use anytime I leave this house and I got to go to drive to a house. I don't get a map out. I just go to Google Map and just talk to the tell me the address, and it goes go here,
and map it.
Yeah, and map it. That's all internet. That's all AI. So I was thinking, I was watching the show. And I was thinking, when did the internet start? And I know the historical parts, but I started thinking, what was the first website? I really didn't know that. Do you know the first website was only in 1991?
Well, this is the thing. I can remember reading in 1991, an article about it, and it was an article about this concept of the internet and how grad students at a university were having a difficult time figuring it out. And so now jump ahead, 25 years? And you have kids that, look, how often, look at Alex. Look at the Vin. They're on the internet all day long. If they're not actually on a computer, they're on a tablet. If they're not on a tablet, they're on a cell phone. Right. Buddy, I'll tell you, we are in a different age. That's all I got to say, man.
Well, think about it. So if the first internet site was only in 1991, and look where we're at now, now drop another 20 years on that, and I'll drop another 20 years on AI. It's going to be it's like we have Google Home, right? I have a Google Home over there, and I could go yell at it, and it'll ask me for something, and it's the robots that vacuum, the Zumba. You can connect that to the Google Home, and you can go Google Home, start vacuuming or something, and it will kick that thing in, and it'll start vacuuming the house. You can connect so many things. You can connect turn off the lights in the front porch. And this is like that first website back in 1991. I went and looked at it, and it's so archaic. You know what I'm saying? It's just so basic. And look what we do now. All of us are like oh, what's going on in the hurricane? First thing I'm gonna do is we jump on the phone, we get all these emergency outlet, updates. I mean, whatever you want to know, it will pop on your phone. So I see AI just going so far. It is a bit, and every day, like almost every week now, we're saying, hey, did you hear this story? Did you hear this story? So it does get quite.
When you have, who's the guy that in a wheelchair that's what's his name?
Oh, that one. Oh, so now you got me.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Yes,
Stephen Hawking.
He's preached against it.
Not only shit. Why is it that the titans of technology are against AI? You would think they would want, oh yeah, we want AI. But most of these people are like, no, don't even go there. Don't even talk about it. Because other people that really, I don't think really grasp really the potential of AI in terms of what AI could mean in their lives. Oh my gosh, James. I mean, I see
positive, and then I see scary things. I really do, and so.
And that's why I don't feel real comfortable talking about it. Because to me, I mean, I'm not being silly when I sit there and say that it's a scary thought. I mean, I think it's a scary ass thought, man. I mean, I don't want a machine that can think, that can reason. I mean, piss on that, man. If you want to make a dumb machine, fine. But not a machine that... Didn't you say that there was some university that it started to create its own language that we couldn't decipher, but the damn machines could?
Google.
What the hell is that all about?
Google pulled the plug on a project because it wrote its own... It started developing its own language that we had no idea how it did it. And so they're like, oh, we're done. And they pulled the plug. So then comes here comes the next big question. The next big, situation is when does AI get to the point where we start asking, should we be unplugging this piece? Yeah, I mean, we look at AI as just it's a computer. We build it. It's a whole bunch of circuits. But when does it reach a point where now they worry that AI actually has a sentient personality to where do we have the right to unplug this thing?
Do you remember seeing a show in syndication called Lost in Space?
Please, all day.
I
love that.
Remember how that show was? I mean, think about how freaking wacky that show was. That was a whacked out show.
Right, it was comical.
And the robot, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Robinson! All right, dude, it's about that time. We need to take a quick break. Folks, on the backside, we're going to jump into possession. We're going to jump into... it's a topic that makes me feel uncomfortable because if the Bible taught... Listen, if Jesus cast demons out into a herd of pigs and the pigs ran off the side of the hill and committed suicide... If the Bible says there's such a thing as possession, I believe there's such a thing as possession. So we're going to get into that on the backside. So, folks, grab yourself some snackage, grab yourself some drinky poo, and hang out with us. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Strange things radio. Strange things radio. Strange Things Radio.
Yeah, Strange Things Video, Friday night. 11:05, James? We took a little bit of a long break.
Yep.
We hope people are still there. I've yet to actually make it over to the chat room to see. We got people still in the chat room, right, James?
Yep. If you want to visit one of our chat rooms, go to parxradionetwork.com and join our chat room there. And but real quick, we just found out that Hurricane Harvey has hit Texas at a Category 4. So
at a Category what?
4.
Oh, yeah.
So for those who are listening in the Texas area, please be safe. And as they say in the hurricane time period, hunker down, people, hunker down.
Well, let's just hope that people heeded warnings and headed inland, which is what they were telling people to do. Just head inland. Go 300 miles. That's, figure if you're going about 80 miles an hour, that's in about 4 hours. In Texas, don't they have unlimited speed limits in certain areas of Texas because it's so barren?
I don't think they do in Texas. I think there's other states, but not in Texas. Texas, let me tell you, the Texas police, we're going to have some of our listeners who live out in Texas. Those, I'm telling you, they enforce the law pretty strong there. And they, I know because
don't you think
my uncle was, if a few people don't know, but my uncle was actually sat on the Supreme Court of Texas. My other uncle is a prosecuting attorney for the feds there in Texas. Another uncle of mine is a probate judge in Texas. And then I have some other cousins who are lawyers. So pretty much a lot of law going on in Texas with my family. And then my ex-wives. Isn't that old?
Dude, you know what? Here's the thing. When you make comments like that, I know Jen is in and the TV's cranked. Because you wouldn't have the cojones.
Please.
In front of the judge.
Oh, I would all day. Because you know what she said today to me? Honest to God.
What?
So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said no more jumping on the bed.
Thank you, Lord, for taking care of my brother. So go ahead.
There was no problem. So I get home and say, "Hey, babe, the heart doctor said it's all good." She's like, "Well, that's not good," because my son said when I come out, he was with me because I had to pick him up from school, and then he said, "Mom's not gonna like that." Because again, they all want me dead so they can get my fortune, which is about only fortune I got is the equipment that I use to broadcast to all our Strangelings things out there. That's
wow. And Jenzy, I forgot. Jenzy's in Texas, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
And you know what, Jenzy? I'm just going to say this flat out. If I were there, I'd protect you. I would wrap the enormity of my very being around you, and on a 200-mile-an-hour gust of wind would knock me over, thus protecting you thusly.
So, real quick, Gen Z said they can issue tickets for even going below the speed limit there in Texas.
Can you imagine that? You know why? Because it's deep in the heart of Texas.
I didn't get that joke.
I'm sorry, James.
I'm sorry.
Deep in the heart of Texas? I almost kind of want to sing it, but I don't want to get in freaking trouble. You never heard that?
No.
Deep,
all I know is just all my exes live in Texas.
Strangelings out there. When I say deep in the heart of Texas, you guys know what I mean, right? Come on, James. But I'm thankful that the doctor said that they gave you a clean bill of health. And this is the thing. Jen saying, "Don't worry, I'm going to give my baby a workout." Right? James, be honest.
No comment.
When I leave, does she sit there and say, "Why do you let that jerk say those kinds of things about us?"
No, she doesn't say that. She just shakes her head in disbelief.
Yeah, well, come on. I mean, look, when you guys signed the paperwork to be my friend, you read each and every clause, one of which meant forgive Eric for some of the things that he says. I'm just saying. Are
you in the chat room right now?
I'm in the chat room. I just kind of looked. I kind of got up and walked around.
Please read Gen Z's comment to you. That's all I got to say. I'm not.
Lord have mercy, Eric. I'm a former military. You'd be buried in my bosom while I have
my Glock. So here's a trivia question for everyone. And Zinzi's probably the only one who can't answer it. She probably could answer it, but she's not supposed to because she would know it. Well, that just gave it away. But there's 2 states in America. Before they were states, they were actually their own country.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Don't say. I'll say one is Puerto Rico, and then the other is Hawaii.
So 1 out of 2 is correct. Puerto Rico is not a state; it's a territory. So and it is.
But it's an island.
But I didn't say island. Okay. I said what 2 states.
All right, I didn't listen closely enough to the question. Shame on me. But go ahead.
So Texas was its own country, and again, you're right about Hawaii. Hawaii was its own country.
Really? So I got 50%.
Right.
You know, that's not bad.
Texas was
really Texas.
Texas was its own country.
I didn't know that, man.
Yep.
I know we had an issue with Mexico. You know, like the Alamo.
Right, because Mexico wanted to take over Texas, and then Texas at the time was basically its own country stuck between 2 countries. So,
buddy, I did not know that. Folks, strangelings, let me ask you a question. How many radio shows do you get the opportunity to be spoon-fed information that you're not aware of by a very generous man, the skipper, James Riggs?
So,
James, do you notice how I'm buttering your biscuits for another free meal?
The Republic, actually,
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't be buttering your biscuits for another free meal. Oh, come on.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Real quick, the Republic of Texas was 1836, and then it joined the United States in 1845. But it was the Republic of Texas.
I'm telling you, you're giving Cece a run for money because I haven't. Let's see. I just saw Texas is a republic.
Yes.
And I'm going to let you guys go at it, and it's just like, I'm going to sit back and bury my face in Genzi's bosom. And I'm not laughing at my jokes. I'm not joking. I just think it's funny. Genzi, you've got to be cool, man. She probably bowls. She has a bowling shirt with her name on it, right? And she drinks Corona with a lime.
All right.
What do you think, James? What do you think?
That sounds good.
Come on. I mean, Corona, that's Texas way.
That's
true. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see if she did. Seriously, I just found that. All right, I didn't even... Wait, Vermont, known officially as the Republic of New Connecticut, is a sovereign nation for 14 years. Dang cat. You know what, James? Listen, did we not choose the right candidate to be our researcher-in-chief? James,
I'm sorry, I was reading. Sorry.
James, why do you take it? So why, when we're in the midst of a show, do you decide to take a 2 or 3 minute nap? Can't you wait till the end of the show?
Power nap, baby, power nap, so we can get through this. So, exorcisms,
all right.
It's not exercise, exorcism. It's
exorcism.
It's an actual verb that basically a priest will exorcise a demon out of a human person. James, I don't know. I just made all that up.
Let me paint a picture. You work for a company. You know this guy that's kind of quiet, very nice and gentle, and then all of a sudden, within a matter of a day, he comes in hateful. His face contorts in a way that you've never seen before. You're like, what? And his voice changes. He might be real sweaty and look sick. And you might think he's ill, but really he's demon possessed. Now, we talked earlier in the show about The Exorcist, which was kind of a freaky tale. And we're going to go into that a little bit in a little while. But the way that was, it was a girl basically got ill. She was possessed. She eventually, the exorcism was successful, and the demon went out of her, went out into the younger priest. And what did that younger priest do? He ran, jumped out of the window, and fell down a staircase and died. Eerily similar to what to the story of Jesus confronting a demon-possessed man and Jesus commanding those demons to leave him, and they went for a herd of swine and those swine ran off a cliff. Very similar. It's almost like the writer, when they were trying to come to that point of total exorcism where that devil or demon is exorcised, that it runs into another body. And if you haven't seen The Exorcist, I shouldn't say that, man, because be prepared for.
Oh no,
James,
go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, well, because The Exorcist, again, it's a movie, right? So they took liberties of any movie does, but we were trying to get into the more realistic, what some of these movies were based on, what stories have come up, and The Exorcist was actually based. I had it right here, all ready to roll, and I accidentally clicked off the off button. You know how you turn off So, I had it all figured out. I had it rambling. I was ready to go with it. Okay, so, give me a second. Let me go find my little thing about The Exorcist. You know, the Exorcist was based on a book written in 1971, and the movie came out in 1973. We know that much because I remember that from reading it. But I'm trying to get to that. You know what happened? Kat got me sidetracked with the Vermont thing. So I actually went to historybuff.com, started reading about Vermont. And this is, again, folks, this is Strange Things Radio, the ADD. We do get off track a little bit. But let me jump onto this, our Exorcist.
Dude, are you talking about the story? Well, I mean, are you talking about the movie was based on
a book?
Well, about a event that actually occurred.
Right, about the boy. It was a boy, not a girl.
Do you remember what the guy's name was?
I do not. I will know as soon as I can bring it up.
They refer to him as Ronnie Doe or Ronald Heckler, and he was born a Catholic. Or I'm sorry, he was born to a mother who was Lutheran and a father who was Catholic.
Well, there's the problem. So, you crossbreed in the religious world.
Dude, you let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Come on, man. And then here, James, you're going to love this because we've argued this before. At the age of 14, Ronald was introduced to the Ouija board.
Hold on. Are you sure?
Hold on.
Are you sure it wasn't the movie you're talking about? Or are you talking about the book?
Story. This is the real story, okay? So, now it talks about how, you know, it's the reason why he becomes possessed. They don't try to argue that the Ouija board actually started it from happening, but they thought that had a part in opening that portal, opening things to occur, and blah blah blah. So, and evidently, what the family of this boy started to notice was that he would speak. He would have the angry voices. They would hear angry voices, and they would hear like furniture moving across the room. Now, that wouldn't freak you out. And evidently then, shortly thereafter, now remember, they're not making a direct correlation between playing with the Ouija board and then slowly becoming possessed. They just say, it's possible. It's something. You might be able to see a nexus there. So, and then after they started to hear furniture moving, evidently they saw claw marks on this kid's body. I mean, just claw marks. So how the hell do claw marks show up on somebody's body? Are they clawing themselves? Yeah, you could probably, do that. But and it got so bad where the family said, okay, we're hauling ass. Let's get out of here. We're going to move to St. Louis. And evidently that's where they thought this kid's behavior would change. So even though that when they were in St. Louis, they didn't see any kind of changes in this kid's behavior. So what they decided to do, having a Lutheran and a Catholic background, they reached out to one of the elders of the church. And I guess the guy's name was Father Bishop. He was a Roman Catholic priest that was teaching at the university. And evidently, according to his diary, when
Father Bishop first entered the home, he found this kid lying on his bed perfectly still, and the bed was shaking underneath him. The bed was shaking underneath him. So once, I guess Father Bishop, he took out a vial of holy water, sprinkled it on the boy, and then it stopped. But then, the kid started talking about, he experienced, excruciating sharp pains in his stomach and blah, blah, blah. And, his mother, that's starting to hear all this stuff, started to freak out. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean,
oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
and the mother rushes over, pulls the covers back, and it revealed a series of scratches all over his midsection. So he's complaining about hearing. Now, and this is the thing. I know you'll probably sit there and say, well, this sounds like a great story. Somebody made it up and blah, blah, blah. They're trying to make money. But now remember, these are Catholic priests. Remember, we've talked about those that experience the paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs, that are in positions of authority that have a responsibility. And they, when you think about, they probably would consider their reputation if they were to disclose their experiences with the paranormal, seeing a UFO or whatever. So, so this guy's a priest, and so a couple days passed. This Father Bishop guy returned. He went back to the church, and then he went back to see the boy. And when he entered the room, he found this little boy. This boy. I say boy, but he was in his teens, and he saw a bottle of holy water was thrown across the room by an unseen force. James, wouldn't that freak you out? I'm just saying, wouldn't experiencing or seeing something run horizontal, just be thrown horizontally across the floor, or maybe an expert arc, and you don't know who threw it? Wouldn't that freak you out a little bit?
It would. It would. It definitely would. I mean, and those, when we see the TV shows and they see the balls rolling, and those always do give me the chills.
It's a little freaky. It's a little freaky.
But what about we talked about, the truth. I mean, we got the movies, and they always want to enlighten things like that, just to make it entertainment, because that's what it is.
James,
but what about other true?
Well, there's probably, but you would have to almost say this is the one case of exorcism that was popularized in a book, in a movie, and it was based on a true story.
But I got other ones that are just.
I know, and we're going to get to it, but this is like the cornerstone of what we know. I would never have known anything about Exorcist had I not seen the movie. It's based on a true story. And that one time when the holy water got thrown across the room, 5 minutes later, a bookshelf just moved across the floor. Now, this went on, and this went on, and this went on, and I want to get to the time when this thing was actually expelled. Dude, I gotta send you this death mask. This death mask was evidently, it was reportedly put in the movie. It's like a second or 2 seconds of a flash, and evidently, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but some lady had a heart attack in the movie theater when this death mask flashed up. So, but the bottom line, that what I wanted to say was, this movie that was, to me, the scariest movie of all time, dealing with a concept, possession, where another entity enters you, controls you, and acts out in your body. That, and I wanted to, to show that whole biblical portion where Jesus casts the devil out. So if exorcism is real, then we have to sit there and confront it. Now, that was the story that was based on The Exorcist. You said you had other stories, right? Tell me about one.
Okay, so another story. This is if Everyone knows I can't pronounce names. So, Annalisa Michelle.
Okay.
Anneliese, and then Michel is her last name. September she was born September 21st, 1952, died July 1st, 1976. Was a German woman who underwent Catholic exorcism rites during the year before her death. Later, investigating determined that she was malnourished and dehydrated. Her parents and priests responsible were charged with neglect homicide. So then this is where they were, and this is, she said, the film, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That's what they kind of based that story on. So the priest's decision to employ a 400-year-old ritual of exorcism. Basically, this is the story real quick. So at 16, she experienced seizures and diagnosed with psychological causes by temporary lobe epilepsy. So she soon had depressions and was treated at a psychological hospital. At the time she was 20, she became intolerant of various religious objects and began to hear voices. Her condition worsened despite medication, and she became suicidal. Convinced she was possessed, her family appealed to a Catholic priest for an exorcism. While rejected first, after much hesitation, two priests got permission from the local bishop in 1975. So, after her death, Michael's parents and two priests were found guilty of neglect homicide and were sentenced to 6 months in jail.
And that was based, and what movie was based on that story?
That movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Now, I'm sure you folks, I remember that. I don't think I went and saw it in a movie theater because after a while, I didn't want to watch shows about demon possession and things like that.
Right.
But I never saw that. Did you see it?
I did. I've been on some TV. I didn't go to movie theaters and see it. But they also made a remake of it too, I think. But here's something.
Wow.
But the reason I'm bringing this one up is, and before we go to break here, I wonder that, these so-called, possessions, I'm not saying possessions can't exist and they could be there, but I wonder if some of them aren't more just mental, psychological issues between seizures, when people seize, seizures, and then schizophrenia and just overall delusions, and that the people who are involved are, and it seems like, and I'm just saying from here because you don't see people talk about the Baptists doing it or the Lutherans doing it. It looks like more Catholics as a whole are doing this. Say, hey, they're possessed by the devil, and they're saying they're possessed. When maybe really it's just more of a psychological and mental issues and a breakdown of that. Does that make sense?
The thing is, Fox has a point, man. All forms of demonic oppression is basically demonic. The goal is demonic possession, oppression, possession, whatever happened. What did I just say?
Car wash. Something about car wash. No.
Yeah, car wash. No, didn't you see what Fox was talking about? Demonic oppression usually is the goal is overall the demon wants to possess you. So that makes total sense, and I could see that. Tina, when she was talking about, what about possession from a spirit and not a demon? Unwanted mediumship. I don't know if I respect you, Tina. In fact, I love you, Don. But so I don't know. I'm not a human spirit. It is appointed on the man to die once and then the judgment. So I don't believe in human ghosts. I think we talked about this before. Little children ghosts. I don't think so. I think those are demons whose sole purpose is to deceive you into believing that when you die, you're a ghost and you walk around a house or a frickin' old insane asylum. No, I think it's demonic. So, that's why, James, I'll be honest with you. We've made some good friends out there, our strangelings, and some of them have offered to take us on the ghost hunts and, do other things. And I've been a little bit hesitant. I'll be honest with you. I'd be a little hesitant because I believe if we went into a quote-unquote seriously haunted place, okay, I think they would try to work on me because they would see how, I don't know,
but they would see that I'm a believer. So they'd probably try to attack me. And I'm not saying, oh, why be the focus or blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just saying me, you, Tina, we'll come up with, let's a couple other people, and we go out and we explore a mental hospital. I'm just saying, I think, for one, I wouldn't be, I'm going to sit there and say I wouldn't be scared, but I'd be hesitant because I know if there were such a thing as paranormal activity or spiritual activity or voices or anything like that, I would believe they were all demonic trying to deceive.
So
Satan is a deceiver.
We are at the bottom of the hour, and this is Strange Things Radio. I'll get Eric on the line.
But listen, we're going to come back and talk about. We're going to continue on the topic.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm just saying we're at the bottom of the hour, so we got to cut out for break.
Well, you know what that is? That's snackage time. That's refill your iced tea. Remember, folks, the show is being brought to you by Arnold Palmer. Zero. Half and half.
He's trying to get a case of this stuff for free.
Dude, first of all, you gotta go back and check the last 3 or 4 shows. It's shameless. It's totally shameless. But James, come on! Wouldn't it be nice?
It would.
So
this is Strange Things Radio.
And you're sitting there saying that, and you've been a recipient of many of. Thank you for mentioning us, James, on your show. Come on, man. I'm just trying to get some tea. It's shameless, almost akin to the Castle Bears. You know what I'm saying? But we won't get into that.
We'll be right back.
Folks,
hold on.
Are we out?
Hold on. I'm going out right now. Hold on. Fine, we're going out. Be right back.
Strange Things Radio. Strange Things Radio.
Yeah. We are back for another, 23 minutes, James? 23 minutes?
Yeah.
Remember, James, we did a 3-hour show? Remember, we did 3 hours. 3 hours, and a lot of those shows were without guests.
Yeah.
3 hours of just yapping. But you know what, James?
The last hour, though, the last hour of 3 hour was just sheer shenanigans.
Well, this is the thing. Sometimes, we were just having fun because we were tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that made it worthwhile and kept it interesting and kept us active was watching the Strangelings out in the chat room. I mean, because they when they interface, that's why we love live, James, right? That's why we would rather do live and deal with any belches or any farts or any, mispronunciation of words. We dig it. We dig being live, and we love the interaction, right? Come on, James,
we have to have the interaction.
We have to. We love because this is the thing. We're two lonely guys on a Friday night, right? Well, we want some, even though
that was an original by Eric Williams and not copyrighted.
That was. Shut up, man. Yeah, but I'm glad you did that disclaimer, right?
Oh, yeah, got to cover our collective asses around here.
I mean, even if you have, you have Jen at least. I have Babe, my Yorkie, and my buddy here, the Shih Tzu. I mean, that's it. I mean, and so I mean that's
we gotta find
that's
it.
What
I'm telling you, we're gonna do a show. It's called
Friday,
Find Eric a Girlfriend.
Right, Eric. Are you? Is this honesty hour? Are you saying that what you're basically saying is you don't do anything? No, I do. But this is the time when we get to hang out with yous guys, right, James? Do we not dig them? How many of our listeners out there we are actually developing friendships with? Is that not cool, James?
We do. Absolutely.
Is that not cool? And we could go through a litany of there are people in the chat room right now. So that's what we let. And we see other hosts that come in. Like I Have No Life decides to come in about a half hour early and listen and check us out. And
T-Fox Durham, he has a show before us.
Fox. I mean, come on. When they come and they're supporting it. Not only are they supporting us from listening, but we get to interface with you. I think that's so cool. I mean, I think, yeah, that's it. Listen to what Fox does. What he's doing is he's paying dollars out, right? I got snuggles after my show with my wife. That's it, Fox. Rub it in, man. Rub it in. So, that's all right. But we love the hosts that hang out with us. We dig you. This is a love fest. This is hanging out at our house. You know what I mean? And absolutely, Ra coming in. I mean, didn't we have Ra on?
Yeah, the first week
he did the show.
Yeah, we had him on as a guest.
His first show.
Like I think it was right before he did his first show. We had him on.
And the thing is, when I'm sitting there talking to him, I'm realizing how big of a no mind I am compared to this guy. I mean, he knows his paranormal, right, James?
He does.
I mean, he brought things up that later on we said, Ross said that, And then, of course, you have that voice of Fox, man. Damn. I'd like to do a story or, do, but I wouldn't want to sit there and say, yeah, we're acting like Fox. I dig that, man.
We all have our own voices around here.
Yeah, so we love, I mean, and I'm not sitting here going on the ass. I'm not doing that. We're being honest here, right, James?
Ooh.
We're being honest.
So real quick, after our show, if there is I Have No Life, which follows us, tonight's episode is School of Ghosts.
Now, is that not interesting? You just need to think about it. So are we going to learn how to go and ghost hunt? I mean, things we need to look at. So that's what I'm saying. So we dig the hosts out there as well. So, James, let's get back into this because this is the thing. I believe that Satan's power, his ultimate power is deception. Deception is a powerful demonic tool. Because if you can make someone believe something out of deception, then you won the game. So Satan is won when he deceives people into believing that paranormal, ghostly activity, or human ghosts. That demons don't exist. Anybody who thinks there's a devil is an idiot. And when people buy that, he won because he deceived them into believing something else and discounting reality, which is he's a deceiver, he's the devil. So demonic possession. James, I know I like to read. We've been watching over the last year or two an explosion in exorcisms, some resulting in death, some reports of incredible supernatural, paranormal events that these people that have been possessed, a lot of them have similar things, similar qualities, or not necessarily qualities, but similar considerations, deep voice, being able to spit, saying angry. I've heard stories where they levitated. Now, is that buying into a bunch of bull, James? Would you think that's would you think that's it? No.
There's been reports, and it's hard to, why would these people lie? I mean, if there's I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Kids, listen. There we have listeners that we frickin' love that are so sarcastic. Listen to what Kat says. After everything I said, I'm sitting there just telling you how I feel, laying myself bare. And what does Kat say? What, I catch the tail end of Eric sucking up too? Kat, what? Come on, I'm not sucking up. Oh man, come on!
All right, well here's another story that I have read. It's interesting. So let me grab that file real quick. So this is more recent because the stuff we talk about has been in the 50s and 60s. This was the demonic possession occurred in 2008, but was reported in 2012 by a board-certified psychiatrist and associate professor of clinical psychiatry at the New York Medical College, Dr. Richard E. Gallagher. The strange story revolves around a woman known as Julia, who originally came forth begging her church to help her what she claimed was a spiritual possession. And the church went to ask for help from the psychiatric community. While investigating Julia, Gallagher became convinced that there was more going on than mental illness or outright fraud. During their conversations, Julia would suddenly respond in a voice far different from her own and says things not in character for her, such as obscene language and hateful rants and threats, and showed extreme repulsion to religious items, which seemed to have disturbed the psychiatrist a great deal. Gallagher would later say of these occurrences, this is a quote from Gallagher himself, here. Periodically in our presence, Julia would go into a trance state of recurring nature. Mentally troubled individuals often disassociate, but Julia's trances were accompanied by unusual phenomenon. One of her mouth would become various threats, taunts, and I can't say that word, bad language. Phrases like "leave her alone, you idiot," "she's ours," leave you imbecile priest," or just leave. The tone of her voice differently marked by Julia's own and variety, sometimes sounding guttural and vaguely masculinative. Voices. Other points would be high pitched.
Hey, James, do me a favor. Will you project, please, so I can hear you without having to sit there and go, all right, I can hear him, but maybe I'm losing my hearing.
Well, because you're way down here on my phone, and I'm way up here on the mic. So I will move it to where you maybe can get closer to.
No, that's cool. Go ahead. You're good right now. Stay at that level. Go ahead.
So, again, that's more of a recent occurrence. And then what I find fascinating, but this is by far probably the most recent one that's got a lot of attention. Happens in a little small town called Gary, Indiana. That's a little hint for you there, Eric. Gary, Indiana.
We know where that is.
2014, the Ammons, A-M-M-O-N-S. That's Ammons, right? Is that how you say that? The Ammons family? Mother of three. Said the family was under siege from forces of darkness. The mother claiming that her three children, 7, 9, and 12, were being targeted by sinister superpowers. Covered a litany of strange occurrences. Before her son at one point walked backwards up a wall and across the ceiling. Then another son was thrown roughly across the room by unseen hands, and her daughter had been a witness to levitating above her bed. These interest authorities, such as the police and child services, One officer, a Captain Charles Austin, visited the Almonds' home expecting to see an abusive mother or a fraudster, but was seriously convinced when he personally witnessed the odd events unfolding at the afflicted homes. Eventually, exorcists were brought in. They said over 200 demons were reported in this location. And it goes on more and more. Now, what also is I find interesting at that particular location that people don't know, we call it the Demon House, is one, Zach Bagans did buy the house. Zach Bagans did do film in there, was going to put together a movie. This came out literally almost 4 years ago because it was one of the first big stories that broke when we first started our radio show. Right? Yeah. We started in 2013. This came in 2014, and we kept talking about it because we kept waiting. The movie has never shown up. The building has been destroyed, and so again, the question.
Now, James, can I ask you? Now, let me just ask a couple questions. Do you think that cop revealed what happened, or he told the public his experiences for fame, or he was just being honest? Remember, we talked about those individuals that witnessed the paranormal, whether they're willing to reveal what they experienced on fear of their reputation being ruined. Do you think that captain, or whatever, that police officer, had a motive, and that was to gain fame by being a police officer or cop who witnessed that paranormal activity? And that's the same family, James. The same family. Didn't the kid run up the wall backwards and do a flip in front of a doctor and a nurse, and it so freaked them out that they ran out of the room. They freaked out. Here is a doctor, here is a nurse that works at a psych facility that witnessed something that so terrifies them they have to leave the room. Now, I go, okay, I hear that. So this is the story that was put forth. Then I think about the doctor and the nurse. If they did it for publicity to say they saw that, and thought there would be more of a payoff, or did they take into consideration their reputations and still felt that they wanted to reveal what happened? There was no motivation. There was no motive for fame. They just had to come out and say what they experienced, that they were being honest and truthful. You hear a story like that, James, what's the first thing you say? That's bullshit. That's bullcrap.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't believe that, right? And then you say, oh, well, who said it? Well, a doctor and a nurse said they saw it. And then you sit there and think, okay, what are they trying to do? Get their, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of fame by saying they witnessed this? Or did they really risk their reputation to come out and say, hey, I witnessed this?
Again, that's a good question. Now, one quick, Tina Miami said, I saw the priest that attempted to cleanse the house. I saw him tell his story at a Paracon. You could not fake the fear in his voice or in his eyes. Now, so Tina Miami saw the priest that went out to that house.
The Gary house.
Yeah, that's what I'm understanding.
Wow.
See,
now, James, James, I understand the whole situation. We got to get to one of these Paracon gatherings, because it's
funny because a lot of them have people there who've been on our show, like Paracon 8 in Michigan. I would say half the people who are guest speakers have been on our show.
Now that's very powerful. What Tina said. You could not
see. I would love. We've how many times have we talked about the Gary house? Tons.
Well, we were stoked. We thought we were going to get incredible video, incredible film. Remember, it wasn't just going to be a 2-hour special. It was going to be
to put
theatrical release, a film,
a movie.
Yeah,
but the film must be out there. I mean, it's still there somewhere. And I bet you it's going to come.
Well, this
up somewhere.
Is the thing, James. We can make two assumptions. One, that he found nothing and he regretted buying the house and, you know, he wanted to tear it down to put it in so nobody would talk about it anymore. Or some serious crap went on that might have involved Nick Groff, or Groff. Remember, he basically quit. In fact, I remember there was statements that he made that he didn't quit over any kind of problem or anything that happened in the Gary house. So, but he left.
But
he left during that period of time.
And I've seen, and again, we would have to ask Nick, but he's talked about this on a couple of his shows, that things have gotten close where he feels things have come back to his place.
Oh, we've heard that. Oh, not only Graw, but the other guy, the bald guy. What was his name? What's the bald guy's name on Ghost Hunter Strangelings? Aaron. I don't know what his, but he. You know what? The way he is, and I perceive him in the show. He's a nice guy. You know, he's one of those regular nice guys. He said that when he went home, the demonic activity that started to surface was so intense that it essentially broke up his marriage. In fact, they did an interview where he said that he thought his marriage was split because of the demonic activity.
We said Ghost Hunters. We meant Ghost Adventures.
Did I say Ghost? I meant Ghost Adventures. I thought. Right. I'm sorry. The one with Zach Bagans, Nick Groff, and Aaron whatever.
Right,
that's
on
Ghost
the Travel
Adventures.
Channel.
Dude, there's so many freaking shows out there. Come on, we get them mixed up. You know, come on, man.
So I will have to say this real quick. I know we're getting close on our time, and we're going to go away from the possession thing just for a second. But this does relate to it. So I belong to a whole bunch of groups on Facebook, right? And one of the groups is a paranormal world group. And someone brought up the fact, asked, does realtors, and this wasn't me, does realtors have the responsibility to tell buyers if the house is haunted? And there's a big old, and it was like a big old thing, and people are like, no, yes. You know, one says, well, in Florida, I think you have to tell them. And I can tell you for a fact, as a certified real estate agent, no, you do not, because haunted is
James,
not a.
We talked about this.
Yeah,
did we not talk about this at lunch?
We did,
folks. When we ate wings and things, we talked about that. He brought that up. He's like, yeah, and we talked about it, and then it went into how long did we talk about that? For about a half hour.
Yeah,
folks, you understand what you're hearing and listening to is what we do if we go and meet at a cafe and sit there and shoot the crap. This is part of, but you're part of it. So I think I said to you, James, that it was a question of morality there. If you're going to a real estate agent and you want him to, they show you the house, I'd be a little bit miffed if the previous owners had experienced paranormal activity or because there was a horrible murder 10 years ago. That was the explanation for the paranormal activity, and you as the agent didn't disclose that to me. I'd be pissed.
Right, but how would you know? Because the only thing that we know about that house...
James, really? You're a real estate mogul. Don't they take...
No.
Don't people put down information about the house?
Here's what they say. Beautiful 2-bedroom, 3 baths. A 3-bedroom, 2 baths, 2-car garage, located close to... excitement shops, recently renovated, new kitchen, new grand master bedroom, 1,400 square feet of lovely home. Then you look in the realtor notes. Boom, this house, this, and this. This is the title company we are using. Please call to see your private showing today. How much? And so, and then in the report, it shows you what your commission would be, what the escrow is going to be, what the square footage is going to be. Public utilities.
So basically, there's no section. All right, no. I guess, man.
I'll show you next time you come over. I will show you the documents that we get.
James, your new house. You've had lived in there what? A year, 2 years? How long?
Coming 2 years this October.
Okay, let's just say, hypothetically, 4 months afterwards. We've even joked about some of the strange goings-on in your house. But it seems like, and this is a whole other story, each house that you've had, the last two, we thought there was something going on.
Well, that's because I've nailed it down to the painting.
James, what if you saw crap fly across the room? What if in the middle of the night you heard loud voices? And wouldn't you be pissed off? Wouldn't you be on the phone with the realtor and go, "What the hell's wrong with you? Why didn't you? Did you know this stuff ahead of time?"
No, I wouldn't because the fact that there's nothing you can do because it's being haunted. Is not
there is. There is. Look for another house.
No, you're stuck with the house. Once you buy it, it's yours, dude. This is why you're.
Tina's right. But brand new houses can have something in them. Yeah,
definitely. Because I worked for a home builder who had one.
Because they're built over something like what are those ley lines or whatever. Here I am trying to sound like I know anything about the paranormal. You know that would encourage.
Well, Tina was a good point. Sometimes it's not the people. It's not the house. It's the people. Hence possession. Say you were the kid. I mean. When we talk about possession, sometimes you think it's instantaneous, but possession could last years. There was an article we didn't get into it. There's an article of a lady who had it for 20 years.
Jeez.
We just kind of go all the way to the end of the game, seeing them all crazy. But it can start off very small. I mean, it could small just like once a month. You feel a little weird, and it could grow. So, but folks, we are at the top of the hour. It's 11:58 here, Strange Things Radio. Haunted items, yes, that's another favorite thing of ours. We've had shows, and actually, when we talked about haunted items with an author of ours, that's when we got our first on-air EVP from my haunted.
Yeah, I remember that. so folks, listen. Hang out with I Have No Life. They're going to be hitting us at the top of the hour. So they're going to have a lot of interesting information, and so hang out. Let's just kind of remember it's the weekend. Thank God it's the weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. We love you, Strangelings. We look forward to this every night. Look, James and I were having lunch talking about what we're going to talk about and looking forward to. I think I even said to you, James, don't you look forward to the show? What James say? Yeah. I do. So we do. We get a chance to hang out with you. So, on behalf of the skipper... Oh, wait, James, tell people quickly how they can get in touch with us.
StrangeThingsRadio@gmail.com is the email. Host of Strange is our Twitter. Also, Strange Things Radio Network is our Facebook account. Go there, like us. If you want to send us messages through Facebook or send us an email on topics you want to hear about or any interesting paranormal or anything strange and weird, let us know. So,
cool. On that note, folks, Strange Things Radio. Until next week, tag it, James.
Stay strange, folks.
Strange.